Hi, I'm Paul Brodie, back in the shop here, Mitch behind the cameras. Last episode I showed jigs and fixtures, and I worked on the stem. We set it up in the mill, and it held it at the right angle, and I made the hole. That's for the internal cable routing, and it looks something like this. So I thought what we would do today is to finish off the cable routing because I got a few more fixtures I can show you here. So we'll work on the lathe. We'll also do a little bit of brazing. And then we'll do something which we haven't done before. We're going to have a little bit of bicycle and a little bit of motorcycle. All my life, I've gone back and forth between bicycles and motorcycles. And in the early 2000s, I set up a website for the motorcycles, and I thought there's no way I can do bicycles as well because it doesn't kind of match, but that's my life. It's bicycles, it's motorcycles. So today you get a little bit of both. We're going to work on the BSA. I got to drill some holes in the headlight bucket and things like that. So first thing we're going to do is to clean up this. I've got a little piece of 3/8 cold rolled. We're going to go to the lathe. This is where the cable goes into. This is the hydraulic tube that has to get bent. So you can see here, I made up some cardboard for each of the stem sizes. And so this one is a 15 degree, and it's 100 millimeters long. So that makes the cable routing hardest because when the stem is longer, there's a lot more room to get that curve in there. But when you've got a short stem, it's harder. So anyway, that's what's going to go on. We're going to do a little bit of brazing. And thanks for joining us. I got to find the center of the tube. So I'll use a ruler and I'll scribe. This is held in the vise, so it's vertical. The quill is vertical. So if I take a ruler at an angle, say 45, that's how I find the center of the tube, more or less. Okay, I'll make a little mark there. Okay, so that's where we got to drill a hole. That hole is going to take the 3/16 tube, so I'll drill it one size larger, a 64th larger, and we'll go to the lathe now, machine this. So far, so good. I've only got one piece of metal I found. I seem to be short of 3/8. All right, we'll go back to the bench and I'll cut the piece of hydraulic tube, 3/16, and do a little nickel silvering. So yeah, that's what it looks like. Nothing special, but you can't buy these. A 2-pound hammer. There we go. All right, so we're going to nickel silver this. So this is what I've got. This is what I used to use when I was doing a batch of these. It fits right over that. Held in place. So I'll light the torch. All right, little nickel silver here. Oh, that went very nicely. Okay, that's done. That's all we needed was a little bit of nickel silver. Okay, so we're going to drill a hole now in the stem. So you can see there's going to have to be a bend in there. It's really, really tight. So this piece, I made up this quite some time ago. It fits into this cable holder, and it allows me to pull this. It's because I shaped it nicely, and that's what I normally use, but this is going to be a tighter bend, so I'm going to bend it around that. So let's see what happens here. Oh, it's way... This really has to bend a lot in there, because that's not going to work. I need to bend this. I knew this was going to be a bit tricky. I just knew it. Okay, so that's bent all that way. So this is also used to help. There we go. So in hindsight, what I should have done probably is to, when I made that slot there, I should have moved it up more to here, because I can still nickel silver there. So that's my fault that I didn't do that. I've got this other fixture here. So can you see here, when that goes in like that, this actually wants to come this way a little bit. See, there's a little radius there. I bend this down. Okay. Do you see how it's got an angle to it now? Aha, okay, so we're getting closer now. So this is nestled down in there. So I can use this to bend that up a little bit. See there? See how it bent up a little bit? So I want to do something else now. So it's got to go in a bit more now. Yeah, can you see it moving a little bit? There we go. Took a little bit. Okay, so we got the cable routing in there, and it looks fine. So we're going to do some nickel silver now. I start here because this is the easiest part, and that's the hardest part, to make that smooth right in there. So I start here and I go back, and then that's the last part. And then I seal this up. I don't want to seal this first because I might get a little air pocket and it might blow out there. So there's a sequence, 1, 2. So I'm doing a little preheat here on the cable boss. I think you call it cable boss. I don't know what else I would call it. Okay, we've joined it, so we'll flow it. I don't have a very hot flame here, so it's taking a little while. And I want it to flow nicely because I don't want to do a lot of filing or any filing. I think that looks okay. So we'll just re-angle the vise. That's what's handy about a park stand. You can move the angle around. Then we'll get this brazed up. And then we'll take off the flux, cut this tube, give it a little polish. There we go. And it's done. Okay, very good. Okay, that looks good. So after I bead blast it, you can really see how the brazing went, and it's not absolutely perfect, but it's very acceptable. And if you put a coat of paint over that, you'll never see any. See how it's a little heavier right on the end there, and it's a little lighter right there. Not bad, but if you put a coat of paint on there, it'll hide all that. So I'm gonna file this now. Okay, and then use the countersink. That takes the burrs out of the inside. And we're good. We have internal cable routing in a 100mm stem. That's the hardest to do because it's so short. Anyway, that worked out fine. Now we're going to move on and do a little bit on the BSA. So on the BSA, I've been assembling it. Can you see over here? I got the brake drum on. Look at this. The back brake works now. Going to work on the engine next. Still looking for a rear tire, but the wheel's done, so it's coming along. So what's happening right now is the headlight. This is the top of it. Can you see these two holes here? That holds the light, that holds the switch. And the headlight I have on here, I'll take it off. It has no holes there. So can you see that? So we have to put some holes in there, and I made something. Let me show you. See this? I took a piece of aluminum and I bolted it onto a flat bar, 1/2-inch flat bar. This is going to get held on the table of the drill press. I'm going to mark this one out with some masking tape. And then do you see what happens here? I can hold it like that, and I can drill down, and it's supported because it's really hard to hold sheet metal that's an odd shape. And then I've got this tool here. Haven't had a lot of success with it, but it's going to work on this job, I hope. So that's basically what's going to happen. So the first step is to mark it out, and then we'll open up these. This one actually isn't a round hole. It's got a, see, it's got a flat there. So I got to mark that accurately, and then I drill here, and the last bit is using a file to make the switch fit in there. So a little bit of BSA. Kind of looks like the middle. Okay, that looks okay. So we're going to go like that. Okay. And then got a hole over here. So this one just holds a light bulb, so it's not super crucial of where it is, just approximately. Okay, I use my plastic circle guide. Okay, and what goes in that hole is this. Yeah, that's what goes into that hole. And I noticed this was a little bit loose, so I'm going to make this hole a little smaller than this hole. And this one looks like it's 7/16, and then it's got a flat on it. And there's a flat, so. That's what it looks like. So we'll go over to the drill press now. We'll see how this guy works. I tried using these before. I wasn't really fond of it. They didn't seem, I see them in the videos and they seem to work really well. I never had that success, so let's see. Oh, oh. Okay, so I'm not going to go out quite far because I want to take my time. I'm just showing you how I drill the holes. So we're going to do this one next, and I need to come back a little bit that way. So we're going to go over to the bench, and we're going to have a quick look at the oil pump, because the oil pump I took out of the motor, it's not spinning very freely. So we're going to take off the cover and just have a peek inside, okay? Here's the inside of the BSA case, and the oil pump sits like so. I took off the 2 bolts, and it's not turning well. Took it off. Found a homemade gasket underneath. Nice. Maybe that was a Fred thing. I don't know. So we're going to take off these screws and just have a look inside. And the screws weren't all that tight. I checked them last night just to make sure that they would come off easily. Oh, quite long. Never done this before. Never worked on a BSA like this. So it'll be interesting to see what's inside, if there's any dirt or something. Something is not going smoothly in there, so I might have to do a little bit of polishing or something. I don't think I need a new oil pump. I think I just have to give it a little bit of TLC. I got the new valves and guides. I took them over to Lance. He's gonna cut the seats. Then I'll get the head back soon. All right, so, well, there is a little bit of dirt there. And oh, okay. So it's actually 2 oil pumps, right? One sucks the oil in, and the other one, it returns it to the tank. Can you see how it's different? So this is intake because it's smaller, and the larger gear is return because it has more volume. Anyway, it looks okay. I think it just needs a bit of cleaning and stuff like that. So thanks for watching the video. We appreciate your support. Mitch and I like coffees. I've told you that a lot of times. It really helps our channel if you buy us coffees. So please like, subscribe, tell your friends, and see you next time.